morning. I am Avi Cox. I work at TNO, and today I will moderate this webinar for you. So today we will talk about supporting SMEs in a collective to save energy, and we will share the experience from the GEAR SME project. So today we will have 5 presentations, and afterwards we will have room for some questions. So please, if you have questions in the meantime, leave them in the chat, and we will come back at your questions later. Important for you to know is that we will record this webinar. So by staying in the call, you agree with this. And we will also take some photos for communication needs. You can, of course, switch off your cameras if you don't want to be on the picture or on the recording. That's, of course, fine. One last sort of tip: on the right top corner of your Zoom screen, you can switch your view to speaker mode or to gallery mode, so that also may be convenient for you today. Yeah, so welcome again. I will keep it very short today to give more room to the speakers of the GEAR SME project today. So thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy this webinar. And now I would like to give the word already to Susanne Brunsting. She also works at TNO, and she will give you an introduction in the GEAR SME methodology. So Susanne, I'll give the word and the floor to you.
Thank you, Evie. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. Thanks. Welcome, everybody. My name is Susanne, and GEAR at SME is a project that started in September 2020, and it will run until the end of April 2023. I will briefly talk about why this project and introduce the use cases that will be presented today. So many projects already address the energy efficiency gap between the availability of energy efficiency and renewable energy measures and actual implementation of these measures in SMEs. So why is this project different? We initiated this project because we saw an opportunity to strengthen the role of local organizations who can support SMEs with taking measures, not just one-on-one, but also as a collective. It is known that SMEs often have few resources, a little knowledge, and also little motivation to implement measures. They have also difficulty accessing the market of energy auditors and advisors. So we coined the term trusted partner, which you see at this slide in the green circle in the middle, as a party that actually connects SMEs in local clusters to the market of energy service suppliers. This is key to the GEAR at SME methodology. There's a trusted partner. We take a collective approach to energy efficiency and renewable energy in SMEs so that SMEs are motivated and unburdened by this trusted partner. This trusted partner is a person or organization that is already known and trusted by the SMEs and who already has a supporting or facilitating relation with specific clusters of SMEs. In Dutch business parks, for example, the trusted partner is often a park manager. In other European countries, the role of trusted partner is fulfilled by different parties in different places. So it can be a business association, it can be a municipality, it can be any stakeholder, in fact, that has an interest in helping SMEs becoming more energy efficient and future-proof, and that also knows this target group very well and knows what they need. GEAR at SME focuses on removing barriers for SMEs by developing energy collectives and paying attention to the concept of multiple benefits. For example, a better working environment, better air quality, or an improved carbon footprint. So these concepts are also central to the trainings we offer to trusted partners. The project also supports so-called multiplier organizations, which are organizations who want to facilitate trusted partners in creating local energy collectives. These multiplier organizations are very important in scaling up results beyond the 4 different use cases that we have in GEAR SME, and which you see here on the slide. We have a use case in the Netherlands, Germany, Italy, and Romania, which will all be presented to you shortly. The purpose of these use cases is to identify and engage a trusted partner, to support a trusted partner in building a local collective of SMEs by addressing multiple benefits, test and validate supporting tools and training materials that we have developed in this project, and draw lessons from these use cases and adapt where necessary. The idea of the what we call GEAR at SME methodology, that consists of training, tooling, and a handbook, is that it's very adaptable and flexible across national cultures and circumstances. So the use cases are an important means to test and verify that flexibility and also the modularity of this approach. Trusted partners can basically take the elements from it that they need. It's not a linear approach. It's they can just, it allows a lot of room for customization to the local circumstances. So generally, the activities in these 4 use cases consist of organizational support to trusted partners to develop energy efficiency projects with SMEs. This can be either one-on-one or collective. Providing training tailored to current knowledge levels and needs. Providing also technical support and assistance to trusted partner and SMEs, and also to seek opportunities together with multiplier organizations to scale up these activities. These use cases have started in beginning of 21 and will run until the end of January 2023. There's an extensive portal that offers various routes through the handbook, the training, the tools, and also inspiring practices, and a community where you can interact with other trusted partners. And I will leave you with some links for more information about the project, the online portal, and the newsletter you can subscribe to. I'll leave it at this. My time's up. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the presentations.
Thank you, Susanne. We will also share those links in the chat later on so that you can click on them immediately. Okay, thanks, Susanne. The next one is Tinea Farkas. I give the word to you.
Thank you, Evie. Good morning, everybody. Please confirm if you see my presentation in full screen.
Yes, we do see it.
Thank you. My name is Tinea Farkas, and I'm representing Servelect. And today I'm going to present you the experiences that we draw from the Romanian use case that we are conducting in 2 use cases. First of all, I want to present you the use case operators. Servelect is an energy service company who is operating the use cases in Romania, and it's offering different sustainable and feasible solutions in Romania for industry, buildings, public authorities. And our main role is to offer technical support to the trusted partner, the SMEs, and other market stakeholders. On the other hand, we have the Technical University in the role of Energy Transition Research Center, who is the multiplier organization of our use case, and has the role to offer professional trainings to the different actors and stakeholders involved in the project, and also for the multiplication of the GEAR SME methodology across Romania. We are operating the first use cases in the Oradea industrial platforms, which are situated in Oradea city, near to the Hungarian border. And our trusted partner is the Oradea Local Development Agency. This is our first use cases, and which has been chosen because it operates 3 platforms and which offers good infrastructure skilled labor force and also tailor-made trainings for the companies and businesses that are operated here. Also, Oradia platforms provide a full range of facilities in terms of technical infrastructure, flexibility to address business and other requirements. Why we choose Oradia industrial platforms? Because it has a large variety of sectors and also a large variety of SMEs, our key actors and target group of this project. Also, they are running several ongoing projects which aims to accelerate the transition between the platforms. And also they are continuing to develop and extend the platforms, of course, in a sustainable and efficient way. How we try to bring the methodology, the GEAR SME methodology into practice. Of course, we started to engage the trusted partner and ADLO and to identify specific needs of them. As Suzanne also mentioned, we started in a period after the pandemic, which was really sensible, and the needs of this trusted partners changed, and different priorities have been put in the first place. After that, with the help of trusted partners, we identified the potential SME collective, which could be a potential energy collective, and which has the interest to be part in our project. And we offered them to do the energy scan, because we know that SMEs lack of identification of different specific solutions, because most of them, they are not carrying out energy audit. So we offered them this tool, the energy scan, done by Servelect, who is doing energy audits, and also by the technical university, which brought the technical knowledge and trainings to the table. We offered them these energy scans, and we managed to do on-site visits to the SMEs and to talk with the SMEs, which was one of the key points of this action, because in this term we identify some specific energy efficiency action plans, and also identify key solutions or low-hanging fruits type solutions, which can brought direct benefit with lower investment. After that, we also promote national and financing schemes, key in energy efficiency investment, because SMEs might not prioritize investment in this kind of project. So we promote all the national available funding schemes, which were a lot in this period, and still there are a few financial schemes open for implementation of renewable energy sources and other measures. Which were the challenges and which were the strength points of this use case? Of course, we met a trusted partner that has limited resources in terms of time and human resources. And also during the discussions, we discovered that the trusted partner has commitment, but not to take part in the activities, but rather than coordinating these activities. So this was a first challenge, but after that we managed to involve our tools developed in the GEAR SME project and to shift this challenge. In terms of strengths, we discovered that the trusted partner has strong professional background in terms of energy efficiency topics, and it's let's say in the focus point, and also it has a comprehensive professional network also in the local but also region level. So this helped a lot. And as I said, during the direct discussion with the SMEs, they were really interested in energy efficiency because they know the benefits of that. After this, we also identify a second use case because we wanted to spread the word in Romania and to and to multiply the methodology in different locations. So we identify a second use case in Tetarom Industrial Parks, which is located in Cluj County. And we identified Tetarom as a local trusted partner who is operating the parks, and it's the park managers of 3 fully operational parks. And also there is in development a science and technological park. Besides this, Tetarom is offering also electricity and natural gas supplying. So this is also a key aspect when talking with them. Why we choose Tetarom? Because they already involved in innovation and sustainability, being part of the core business, and this was a key factor. And also they having high interest in taking part in such projects. And also they are in close collaboration with one of the biggest associations, the Romanian Association of Industrial, Technological, Scientific Parks and Business Incubators, which is a key stakeholder in our country for multiplying the methodology, and they are the key trusted partners that can start an energy collective. As I said, they were the key actors in the upscaling activities. So we try to implement several upscaling activities, starting with national workshops, aiming to bring together SMEs, energy service suppliers, trusted partners, the fund operators, policymakers, the ministry, together to present the methodology and to take into account the different perspectives. And very important to improve the local and the national legislative framework based on the concrete situations that we are facing, especially on how these energy collectives can work in our country and which are the main tools that can boost this energy collective. We offer trainings to different market stakeholders, especially to energy auditors and energy managers about what it means to include multiple benefits in our energy audits and energy services, because it's important to quantify these benefits. We also have a great meeting together with the Minister of Energy and this Association of Business Parks, because we faced this barrier that sometimes business park administrations or industrial park administrations are not eligible in some financing schemes. So we invite the Minister of Energy and we discuss, okay, how we can include them as eligible promoters and to include in further funding schemes. The last point that I wanted to complete is that we involve many stakeholders, and this is a key factor of the use case, because we need to spread the word and to show the methodology and how we propose to involve and to further help SMEs in our country. So we involve different associations, the Ministry of Energy, other energy service suppliers, fund operators, and so on. The key lessons learned that we saw during the use case operating is that finance is very important, because energy efficiency starts with finance and somehow ends with finance. So it's important to have finance for the trusted partner in order to operate a collective, an energy collective. Also, it's important to have mutual benefits and mutual trust in the actors that are involved in this energy collective. And I think that it's a favorable period now. The energy crisis, it's a favorable period for starting an energy collective. So we need to take into account and take advantage of this, and to involve the right stakeholders, which can boost the impact of an energy collective. So thank you for your attention, and I will be happy to answer your question in the final of webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Timea, perfectly on time. So thanks for that. So the next presentation is on the Dutch use case and will be given by Steph. So Steph, I will give the word to you.
Thank you, Evie.
We see your slides.
All right, so hello everyone. My name is Stef Lomans and I work at CCS as an energy consultant. My role in the GEAR SME project is that of the Dutch use case leader. And in this part of the webinar, we're going to be talking about the experiences from the Dutch use case in the GEAR SME project. So first, it's important to talk about the characteristics of the Dutch use case. For the Dutch use case, we worked together with our trusted partner, POM. POM is a foundation consisting of a collaboration of multiple business associations. So they represent 9 business parks within the boundaries of the municipality Meijerijstad. Their collective approach, knowledge and experience has helped us with contacting and motivating the SMEs in these 9 business parks to join the GEAR project, and therefore their contribution to the Dutch use case was a success. And together we conducted around 50 free on-site energy scans in the municipality. The goal of these scans was to help the SMEs to gain insight into their energy consumption, provide tips for cost-saving measures, and to explore the multiple benefits approach specific to their company. These scans were provided free of charge to the SMEs with POM, as well as a Rabobank and the Do Initiative, which is an initiative of the municipality. So the corporations together want this collective approach because it motivates the SMEs to work together and it keeps the debate about energy efficiency going. An example of a collective approach in our Dutch use case would be the sharing of excess heat from Friesland Campina, which is a dairy factory, to an industrial complex next to it that houses several other businesses. In the previous slides, I mentioned the term multiple benefits, and in this slide, I will elaborate a bit more on it. So the increased awareness about energy usage and improvements in energy efficiency will, of course, save energy and reduce energy costs. But next to that, there are also many benefits that are not specifically about energy savings, but they are a result of the energy savings. So these are the so-called multiple benefits. And they clarify how investments in energy efficiency and renewable energy are actually linked to the core business of a company, and thus can also contribute to a competitive advantage. An example of multiple benefits in the Dutch use case is the replacement of older LED lights in a company that has a continuous industrial process going on, which means that the replacement of the conventional LED lights in the first place is an energy savings measures because the LED lights are more energy efficient than the previous lighting. However, the multiple benefits of this replacement of LED lights is that they also last longer than conventional lighting, which means they have to be replaced not as often, which reduces the downtime of this continual running process in the company and also reduces waste. For lessons learned and personal experiences, I would like to give the word to Peter Minet from POM, who has been there with the execution of most of the energy scans.
Yes,
so
thank you, Stef. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Yes, I will talk about some things I learned from, especially from the GEAR SME project. Stef explained I worked for POM the last 2 years. I actually had no knowledge before about doing the energy scans and all the technical know-how about energy savings. But thanks to the whole GEAR SME approach, I was able to get training from the people at CCS and also from Clock to actually, doing the energy scans eventually by myself. It was really useful, especially for the SMEs, since they get their inside knowledge about energy savings, but also the other opportunities that we're able to do around the climate adaptation, for example. So we combined the 2 efforts in using the energy savings, but also using green as a solution for heat stress and also the water problems that sometimes happens at business parks. It's very useful. Next to that, we also used the network of the Rabobank, the municipality of Meijerijstad, and POM to actually really use the triangle in connecting as many entrepreneurs and SMEs as possible. And together with the help of GEAR SME and the tools, for example, the energy potential scan, we got really an insight of which companies were useful to actually ask for energy savings and which ones were already on the way on doing good. So we could really focus on the more old industrial buildings where a lot of energy could be saved. And yeah, also we got a lot of training and reflective moments with the geared SME people from what's going good, what has to be done better. And I think it was really useful at the time. Do you have any questions, Steph, that I can answer?
No, the question we will be answering in the discussion, and you can ask them to me and Peter.
Great.
And we're now going to the German use case, I believe.
Okay, thanks, Steph and Peter. That was interesting. Yeah, so the next presentation will be indeed about a German use case. Palmira, I want to give the word to you.
Yes, thank you. One moment, I will share my screen.
Yes.
Okay. And so, can you see my slides?
Yes, we can see your slides.
So, hi, I'm Palmira Ugarte from the Berlin Energy Agency, and yes, I will share with you the learnings we have made in implementing the methodology, the GEAR SME methodology in Germany. So first of all, we implemented the use case in the Technologie Park Adlershof, which is a business park located in the southern part of Berlin, and which hosts 1,200 enterprises approximately. The main focus of the park is science, technology, and media. We decided to implement the use case here because 90% of these enterprises are SMEs, and also because there are already several projects on energy transition in implementation. So we thought this is a place with a big potential for the project. And we worked together. The trusted partner in Adlershof was the Vista management, which is responsible for the real estate management and the location marketing. And also it supports diffusion activities targeting SMEs. So how did the use case work in Adlershof? At the beginning of from the project, we already realized that the SMEs here, they had a major interest in climate protection. So that was the main trigger to reduce their energy consumption. So based on that, we held 2 workshops on climate neutrality and also on the approach and standards to account the greenhouse gas emissions and the ways to reduce them. Also, under the capacity building activities that we implemented, we this time target to the trusted partner was we held some trainings on multiple benefits also. And yeah, the other thing which worked well in a way, even when only few SMEs demanded energy scans, the results of those were very satisfactory, as the measures which were implemented as result of the energy scans were multiple. There were some measures on reducing the air compressed losses, also to replace LEDs, or also some heating improvements. So on the other hand, the main challenges of implementing the use case was that the trusted partner overtook barely an informative role. So it was not that much oriented to the implementation, and that was due to kind of also a lack of resources, because they were already implementing many other activities on energy efficiency, and also like the pandemic, which was the time when the project started, didn't help. And the other major challenge that we faced was the tenant owner dilemma. So because the 80% of the Adlershof companies have a rental relationship, like their leverage to reduce energy is relatively low, as they're unable to make changes in the building infrastructure. So that was what led to a few demand on energy scans. So for addressing this issue, we adapt the channels for activating SMEs. So originally it was planned that we use energy scans as first step for motivating SMEs, but we kind of amplified our offer as like we offered an advice on climate neutrality topics, also load profile analysis and orientation on renewable energy, decentralized renewable energy. So after we implemented the use case in Adlershof, to scale up, we look for other trusted partners. One of those was the network in Grossbeerenstraße, which is located also in the southern part of Berlin, and it consists of 70 SMEs. So here, the opportunity was that the trusted partner was really committed. The challenge was that in this case were more like the SMEs, which were not that active in the network. So we supported this working group in reactivating the network by, for instance, initiating and evaluating some ideas for collective projects. So in this sense, we conducted a survey on heating demand and heating waste and heat waste for SMEs. So for planning the construction of a local heat network. Regarding our activities with SMEs, we applied the new approach to activate SMEs. And for example, one of the companies included the CO2 emissions caused by the supply chain in their greenhouse gas report as a result of our advice. And also in other companies, what we did were some recommendation on how to upgrade the heating system from gas to heat pump, and also to integrate photovoltaic. So here there's an overview of the stakeholders we worked with. So the first, the Vista, so it was our first trusted partner. Then when in the upscaling phase, we work together with other trusted partners, so how the Grossbeerenstraße network, but also the Motzenstraße network, and we work with some market halls, which also host some small business, so SMEs. And we supported them or implementing SMEs energy scans, or also giving them trainings. And the other group of stakeholders we worked with was some sister projects, as the KEK, which is a project of the Berlin Senate, and also the Klimaprofis, which is also a project of the SMEs Association in Germany. And with them we shared the trainings and the materials we developed for so they can use them also. And last but not least, the Berlin and German Chamber of Commerce, they were acting as multiplier organization, and they supported to outreach more stakeholders, and also they serve as knowledge keeper after the project end. So to finalize, what we have learned in the German use case is that climate protection is a trigger for energy transition. This is due, I mean, some supply chain issues, also green finance, and many companies and many people are also more aware of the climate issues. So also that's yeah, something we have seen in many of the use cases, is that the trusted partner needs resources to implement the activities foreseen and also to initiate projects. And in our case, we saw that it's advisable to include the building owner in collective projects, so they can be successfully implemented. So thank you very much. That was for the German use case. And yeah, I hope if you have some questions later, I'm here to answer them.
Thank you, Palmira. Then on to our next and final presentation. It's Mattia Ricci, and he will give a sort of a different presentation. He has a different angle, but a very interesting one. So Mattia, I will give the floor to you.
Thank you. I'm sharing my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect, thank you. Yes, as you told, my presentation is going to be a little bit different. In particular, I'm going a little bit in depth in an energy scan we performed in Italy. First of all, I present myself. My name is Mattia Ricci, and I'm a researcher at Enea, that is the national Italian energy agency. The title of my presentation is Towards the Energy Collective Approach, the case study of a retail park in the Roveri area. Of course, in the framework of the GEAR SME project, we did several energy scans in the Roveri area, which is actually a business park located in Bologna, in the northeast part of Italy. But today I'm going to focus specifically on one of these energy scans in order to show some more in-depth results. Why the Roveri Business Park? Because it is an area of 2 square kilometers located in Bologna, and in this area there are about 700 SMEs. So to its characteristics, the numerosity of SMEs, this area is expected to have a great potential for implementing the energy collective approach, so the GEAR SME approach. We performed several energy scans in this area. In particular, one of these energy scans regarded the retail park. Basically, the manager of the retail park collaborated with us, sharing the energy consumption of 3 different point of delivery, POD, that are reported in these slides, for POD1, POD2, and POD3. The energy data have been provided with a time step of 15 minutes from the 1st of December of 2021 to the 30th of September of 2022. So so for a little bit less than 1 year. One of these POD, as you can see from the slide, has a very low energy consumption, so only POD1, only POD2 and 3 are considered in the analysis. The retail park at the moment nowadays has not installed any kind of photovoltaic system. So we basically we decided to do some simulations introducing a photovoltaic system with the nominal power ranging from 40 to 400 of kilowatt peak with an azimuth of 180 degrees. So it is directed in the south direction, a tilt angle of 35 degrees and a nominal efficiency of 0.12. Then a software IVN is used to simulate the photovoltaic production every 15 minutes using the climate file from Bologna. Here we can see, for example, the solar production and the POD 2 and 3 consumption for one day. That is actually the 1st of December 2021. As we can see, the solar production is not in phase with the consumption of POD3. That happens because the POD3 is mainly connected to the parking lighting, and so the production and the consumption are not in phase in this case. We can see the same data, but for a day in the summer, so the 1st of July, we have a much higher solar production during the day, of course, and while the consumption from the parking lighted of the POD3 is mainly the same. The energy analysis has been performed considering the photovoltaic system connected to POD3, because okay, in the view of higher consumption and greater potential in terms of self-consumption in particular, two indexes are analyzed, so the self-consumption index and the self-sufficiency index. As I told at the beginning of my presentation, several sizes of photovoltaic system have been considered, ranging from 40 to 400 kilowatt of peak with a step of 40 kilowatts. In these slides, we can see that the most interesting size for the photovoltaic production is from 40 to 160 kilowatt. So we decided to focus on these slides because when power exceed 160 kilowatts per peak, then benefits are much lower, and probably from the economic point of view, there is no interest. Of course, the economic analysis has been performed considering these sizes of photovoltaic production. In this slide, you can see the economic parameters that have been used to perform the economic analysis. So the electricity cost, the grid charge benefit, the cost of the investments, and so on. And the net present value for each solution has been computed. Net present value has been calculated at 20 years. Here we can see the 80 kilowatt solution of photovoltaic has the higher net present value after 20 years. That is about 55,000 euros. And then also the hypothesis of an energy community has been exploited with 75, 50, 25, and 0% of shared energy, because now in Italy, now the Italy government is basically implementing the new legislation of energy communities. So the manager of the retail park is actually very interested in this possibility. Here we can see that, for example, when no energy community is considered, that is the picture on the right, you have a payback time for the return of the investment of 9 years for 40 kilowatt installation and 15 years for 160 kilowatt of installation. If we analyze the results with 70% of energy shared, that is actually the picture on your left, the same values rise down to 7 and 9 years. So the payback return time is very reduced reduced if the energy community is implemented. We can see the same results also in these slides, where the net present value is reported for each percentage of the share energy and for each size of photovoltaic production considered. What can we say after this work? Then we can say that from the perspective of an energy community, that is of course only one of the collective approach that can be adopted, but is one of the most interesting ones in the Italian scenario. We can say that when the production and consumption profiles are not sufficiently correlated in time, that is actually the case I showed you in the slides, the energy community might not be so convenient, in particular for the smaller sizes of the photovoltaic. So the need for an energy storage arises, and the clear policy regarding the management of storages is needed, because nowadays it is not very clear how a storage can be considered in an energy community, in particular in terms of public incentives. The greater the PV production is, the more convenient the energy community becomes. In order to make the investments in the PV systems more attractive, national or regional incentives can play a crucial role, in particular in reducing the payback return time of the investment. And the figure of the business park manager is needed in order to trigger and enhance the energy transition. And this consideration is very general and I think is valid throughout the national territory, and in particular in the part of the national territory where business parks are. So thank you. I'm of course available for questions.
Thank you, Mattia, for these insights. So we've now come to the end of our presentations, and we have some room for any questions or comments that you have. Those can be on the use cases or general the geared SME methodology. So please, if you have any questions, you can put your hand up or put them in the chat, and then we can try to answer them. So is there already a question? Otherwise, I will try one. Mattia, I was a bit I was interested in the conclusion that you had, the greater that the PV production is more it's beneficial to do it in a collective. Is this also what you've seen in the use case? So by showing this data and showing that it's more actually beneficial for SMEs to work in a collective, that it's, yeah.
Well, the fact is that it's very beneficial, in particular if there is the possibility to exploit the national incentives for energy communities that are actually a very important, a very actual argument now in Italy. And if you can apply for national incentives or for energy communities, if you have consumptions that are simultaneous with solar production, then it's very interesting. On the other case, if you have consumption, for example, during night, but solar production during the day, of course, it can be interesting, but a storage, of course, is needed. And we are trying to also to push the government in order to clarify how storages can be incentivized and used in the framework of energy communities.
Okay, yeah, so you're talking to them. Good. Okay, thanks for Mattia for this answer. Robin Broek, I see that you have your hand up, so please go ahead and ask a question.
Yes, thank you. I was wondering if there, given this year's events, whether or not there has been any increased interest in your project, because I mean, you started in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So back then, I assume the main argument was like saving CO2, and now the cost argument has been much more, has gotten much more pressing. So yeah, has there been any increase?
Yeah, so is there any one of the use case operators, leaders that wants to answer this question?
I can say something for the case in Germany. I mean, yes and no. On the on the one hand, yes, the interest of everyone, not only SMEs, but everyone, to reduce the energy consumption increased. On the other hand, we have also seen that there is, I mean, this crisis situation also leads involves many other problems. So, for instance, supply chain problems, like somehow like the SMEs, what we have seen is they are a bit overloaded with the situation, and it's also not the optimal conditions for making investment decisions. So because now the energy prices are this, but no one knows how the energy prices will be in 1 year. So and also like many problems are coming together. So yes, one of the problems is energy prices, and they are more interested in knowing how they can do it, but that actually they are lacking in resources for many other things. So it's one of each. Yeah.
Thank you, Bamira. Is that does that answer your question, Robin?
Yeah, thank you. And I mean, as a follow-up, I would have the question if there's been any increased interest in applying for public funding, because as you say, the investment is probably difficult given the high energy cost right now. During the, maybe also from the other places, during the project, did you have any concrete success stories of SMEs applying for public funding as a help?
Does someone of the use case operators wants to answer?
I can. Yes, I can take that. So yes, there were several initiatives, at least in Romania, dedicated for implementing renewable energy sources, dedicated for SMEs, and also from the resilience plan, to the national recovery and resilience plan. Now we introduced several financing schemes that are dedicated for SMEs, and this is a great boost in terms of national level, because there is a need to switch to renewables, and these financing schemes try to be as specific as possible for the different sectors. So we also had this initiatives dedicated for SMEs and also for hospitality industry, which was greatly affected by the pandemic. So I think that shortly these legislative frameworks and financial schemes start to be specific to the needs and to the market needs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Timea. So there is a question from the chat. From the different SMEs in your research, what do they think about the possibilities to collectively share heating and cooling? Is there someone who can maybe answer that? Maybe Steph from the Dutch use case.
What the SMEs think about the possibilities?
Yes.
Well, for the Dutch cases, our energy net is kind of full in some places. So the sharing of heat can help with relieving some of the energy costs, electrical energy costs, because their focus is on electrification. But this does take a toll on the net congestion, and the sharing of heating and cooling in the way of what was in the Dutch use case from Campina, who is a dairy company, to the other building next to it, which is like a building complex with a lot of businesses. It does save a lot of energy, because otherwise this heat would just go, not be effectively used, but it's difficult to it's not always suitable, because you have to, of course, have a company that has a lot of excess heat, and then a way to get this heat to another company, most likely close by, for the most efficient heat conversion. So it's very specific per case, but yes, they do like it because it saves a lot of energy and costs, of course. And in the future, it is, I think, one of the more important things for saving energy, the collectively sharing of heating and cooling.
Yep. Thank you, Steph. Then there is another question of Timmy Lindström. How did the SMEs interact in the network? So this is, of course, different, I think, for all the use cases. So maybe we can just pass them all and maybe start with Timea.
Yes, so one of the points that we found out when we went to the SMEs that they are not having a great maybe relationship with the park operators. So we targeted this potential to strengthen the relationship between the trusted partner, the local industrial park operator, and between SMEs. And of course, I think that this interaction of the SMEs in the network relies a lot in the specific needs, and that then SMEs can work together for the specific need and for identifying solutions for the specific need. So I think that's the great motivation. Of course, it's not always easy to bring together the SMEs because everybody has individual needs and priorities, but we tried to include them in this energy scan, so they have this motivation to meet and share ideas together, or different events such workshops and networking events where they can share together experiences.
Thank you, Timea. Maybe Mattia from the Italian use case. Is there something to add?
I think that, I mean, regarding the question on how did the SMEs interact in the network, right? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Well, I think that that is connected to the last point of my presentation. We need the figure of the business park manager in order to coordinate this activity between a trusted partner and then the SMEs, and also SMEs and the network. That's kind of missing part for the Italian use case, at least.
Yeah, so it all goes through the trusted partner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I can also say something from the German use case.
Yeah, because it's we have 1 minute left, and I want to also close off. But so if you have something
okay,
to add,
I would just mention that it depends on which kind of trusted partner and there is, because if it's an energy network, then it's actually already the exchange between SMEs is already there, like in regular meetings. But if it's with the in a business park, then it has to go through the trusted partner. So they are the ones responsible for organizing common collective activities.
Thank you, Pamir. I hope that does answer your question, Tommy. I see a thumbs up. Very nice, thank you. Okay, so I would like to wrap up this webinar. So thank you all for being here. It's really appreciated. It's always nice to share our learnings and to get your answers and try to answer them. So for more questions and information, I will put the email address of Carina Veum. She is our project coordinator, in the chat. Also the links to our website and to our energy efficiency portal. And that was it. Thank you again for participating. And before I forget it, also the recording and the slides will be present at the website. Thank you again and have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.